What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Bird back today with another deck tip. Today we're talking about one of my favorite decks in our stable, and that's going to be Vito, Fanatic, Aclazotz. So first off, welcome to the channel. I'm MTG Bird, and one of the things I love about the Commander format is the deck brewing aspect. So I give you these deck tips to give you somewhat of an introspective of what my mind focuses on when I build decks. I'm glad you're here, and so let's get into Vito. And if you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you like this type of content. So let's get started. Vito, Fanatic, Aclazotz is a 4 mana, 2, a white and a black, for a 4/4 vampire demon with the following text. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life if this is the first time this ability is resolved this turn. If it's the second time, each opponent loses 2 life. And if it's the third time, create a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. I love this ability and how it's worded to give us some hurdles to figure out to make our deck home. What permanents are we going to sacrifice that can trigger Vito this turn? Can I reach the vampire demon trigger, or can I just hit the goal of having my opponents lose 2 life? With our commander's effect in mind, as well as these questions, let's go over our primary gameplay loop for Vito. For this particular deck, the primary gameplay loop is to produce permanents throughout the game to sacrifice to trigger Vito's effect or for general value, all while playing problem permanents for our opponents to deal with while we amass a board. With our gameplay loop in mind, let's get into our veggies or our foundational effects. Starting this time with card draw. As always, we have card draw into 2 categories, synergistic and general. Synergistic card draw in the deck is going to have effects that sacrifice permanents to satisfy Vito's effect. Cards such as Deadly Dispute, Pitiless Carnage, Yawgmoth's Imposition, Braid's Arisen Nightmare, and one of my favorite cards, God Eternal Bontu, all require us or allow us to sacrifice a permanent, which makes for more Vito triggers. We also have some general card draw, which still synergizes with our deck, but will get us cards regardless of sacrificing permanents. Cards like Night's Whisper, Benny Brax, Staff of the Storyteller, The One Ring, Rowan's Grim Search, all allow us to get cards without the cost of sacrificing. Though we can bargain for Rowan's Grim Search, but it's not required. We also have a couple of artifacts to get us card draw, such as Skull Clamp to get us a little bit more cards in hand. Let's go over Ramp next. The Ramp section is going to be quick this time around. It's really simple. So we have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, Talisman of Hierarchy are our artifact sources, and then we have Claim Jumper and our Chaomancer's Map giving us White Scoop. Land catch-up mechanics. Smothering Tithe and Black Market both have us ability to make us treasures, which count as permanents for Vito's trigger. So they can make it a little bit easier for us to hit those sacrifice triggers with treasures. That was a quick little section, but let's get into removal next. So to start off removal, let's start talking about our sweepers. I'm running Dam, Final Showdown, and Meat Hook Massacre in the deck. Dam gets rid of everything while being able to be used as somewhat as a modal spell. And then speaking of modal spells, Final Showdown has the power of that as well with the spree cost, giving us some wonderful modes to choose from. While Meat Hook Massacre can stay around and trigger on both our creatures and our opponent's creatures dying. For single target, we have Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares, Deadly Rollick, and Anguish Unmaking. And that's going to be it for our financial effects. Let's get into some of the spice. One of my favorite cards in the deck has to be Serra Paragon. Having a curve being low and filled with permanent spells gives this angel a ton of cards to recast from the graveyard, as well as enabling us to reuse our fetch lands. Then next we have Carmen, Cruel Sky Marcher, and she cares about us sacrificing permanents, and definitely can be described as our lieutenant. She can get large fast, and if we have access to token permanents such as clues, treasures, anything like that, and is a great source of recursion and a meter. She also triggers off each player sacrificing a permanent, so our opponents have to be careful when they sacrifice their permanents. And then speaking of treasures, since the commander has evasion that makes creatures with evasion, Grim Hireling is a slam dunk in this deck. create 2 treasure tokens per opponent hit is a great rate, and this enables us to reach the maximum of Vito's troops expeditiously. A card I've yet to try, but I'm excited to play, is Into the Pit. This card seems like it's going to be a powerhouse, providing both a sack outlet and giving us card advantage at the same time. And then lastly, cards that repeatedly make tokens like Ophiomancer, Wojek Investigator, Jadar Ghoulcaller, and Nephalia all have a home in this deck, as they can make permanents to sacrifice for a multitude effects. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do a playtest hand of Vito. We are going to, this is a new section I'm going to be adding to some of the later videos, where we just take a playtest hand and I kind of narrate my thoughts through it, let you know what I think of it, whether or not I would keep it, and then we play it till about turn 5 or 6. So here we go. Let's draw our 7. So here we have Invasion of Tovada, Warren Soul Trader, Player Fortitude, and Yawgmoth, Therian Physician, Swamp, Jadar, Ghoulcaller, Nephalia, and Brightclimb Pathway. This is a little bit of a risky hand with only 2 lands, but I think we would keep it because we can go into Jadar and Warren Soul Trader. We play enough lands where I think we would draw 1 by the time we get to turn 3, which often is a mistake for most games, but we'll see. So let's draw. So we drew Liliana or Dreadhorde General, which is a great late game spell. We'll play our Swamp, and then we'll pass. Let's draw. We drew Prismatic Vista. So Prismatic Vista is one of our fetch lands, and fetch lands have a sort of premium in this deck. We'll go into Jadar. Sort of premium in this deck on fetch lands because they can easily trigger Vito's effect. So having one in hand is good, but it also means that we might want to try to save it for Vito's effect. I'll move to my end step, and then once I do that, I'll make a something with Decay. Draw. So we didn't draw another land right there, but we did draw Black Market Connections. We would crack this, go down to 39. Going to get a Plains of some sort, either a snow covered or the regular, because we do run Field of the Dead in here, just to make more bodies to sacrifice for Vito's effects. And then here we have a choice. We can go in either into Warren Soul Trader or Black Market Connections. I think Black Market Connections, even though Warren Soul Trader has an immediate effect, Black Market Connections is a better play here. We would swing with our Decay Zombie because it can't block. We would sacrifice, we would get another instep. Pass. Tap, keep, draw. We drew Phyrexian Tower this turn. Then we have a Black Market Connections trigger. We will do all 3. We will make a treasure, draw, and then. So we will make a treasure, draw a card, and make a shapeshifter. Our board is looking quite plump, so the best play here is to play this Phyrexian Tower. After we play Phyrexian Tower, we can go ahead and summon Vito actually. Let's sacrifice the Decayed Zombie. Maybe the Decades on me. Maybe it's the Shapeshifter for time, because attacking with the Decades on me gets us a Vito trigger, so we'll move to combat. We'll attack with that. We'll sacrifice or die and then combat. It would suck if it died, but. And then we have the gain life trigger. I don't want to sacrifice my treasure just yet, so I think that's the only trigger I'm going to go for this turn. And then I will go to my next up, make a dude, pass turn. And then draw, full send, so make a treasure, draw, make a dude. So we didn't get a land there, but we do have 2 treasures, so we can sacrifice the 2 treasures for a black and a white, and then we can play Lunar Convocation. We do have Vito triggers here, and so we'll gain 2 lives and each opponent will lose 2 life. Lunar Convocation kind of makes it so that we can sacrifice a Shapeshifter for 2 black, trigger Vito, make a Vampire Demon, pay 2 black, 2 life, and then draw a card. So we got a land, so we play a land for turn. We got 4 mana. I think a really good play here would be, so we have Yawgmoth available, or Playcrafter, or we could wait to get Lily on the Dreadhorde General. I think we just play 3 for Worn Soul Trader actually, and then we sacrifice here, paying 1 life. Vito doesn't trigger since we already hit our cap of triggers this turn. And then we make another treasure. And then we move our end step. We have a Lunar Convocation trigger. And we, at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, each opponent loses 2 life. He loses 1 life. And at the beginning of the end step, if you gain life and lost life this turn, create a bat. So we will make a bat. So we have even more triggers. So this is a pretty good showing of the deck and what it's supposed to do. So I will go ahead and go into the future of the deck after this. So this deck will be in my stable for a long time to come. It's unlike any other deck, and that is a personality and play pattern that's vastly rewarding. You get an engine and sacrifice online. As always, my personal decks, I will give them a grade on the following improved deck. S means I love the deck and its gameplay loop, and I feel the cards have solidified their place. A means I love the deck and the gameplay loop, but the cards can be swapped out and made for improvements. B means I love the idea of the deck, but the gameplay loop is a bit unfamiliar due to the lack of games. And C means I'm mid on the deck and the gameplay loop hasn't excited me for a while. Vito is definitely an S, and I feel like most of the cards have solidified their place in the deck, and we are only making side grades as available. Well, that's it for my Vito deck. What do you think about it? Are there some cards that you would have added? Remember, if you like the video, to like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and until next time, take care.